A sharp crash echoed through the Harborview restaurant as a tray slipped from a waiter's hands, plates shattering across the floor. Guests gasped. Staff scrambled. And in the middle of the chaos, an elderly man stepped aside just in time, only for the manager to snap at him. "Sir, watch where you're standing." But he hadn't moved. He'd been standing there for 20 minutes. The rain dripping from his coat formed a small puddle at his feet. His clothes were simple, worn, and completely soaked. And still not one server approached him. Customers brushed past as if he were part of the wall. He gave a soft bow, apologizing for something that wasn't his fault. Then someone finally noticed him. Lila Morgan burst through the kitchen doors, holding a steaming tray of drinks. She nearly collided with him. "Oh, I'm so sorry." She steadied herself. "Why are you standing here alone? Has no one attended to you?" He smiled politely, shaking his head. "That's unacceptable," she muttered. "Please follow me." She guided him through the busy restaurant toward a small table by the window overlooking Sydney Harbor. He bowed again, and this time, Lila saw something refined in his posture. Something practiced. Something that didn't match the soaked coat or worn shoes. As she set a menu down, he whispered a quiet phrase, soft, melodic, unmistakably Japanese. Lila blinked. Then, without hesitation, she responded in fluent Japanese. "Would you like tea while you wait?" The man's head jerked up. His eyes widened. For the first time all evening, someone truly saw him. If you're still watching, hit the like button, because what this man reveals next will shock the entire restaurant. The man's reaction was subtle but powerful. His fingers trembled slightly as he lowered the menu. No one else in the restaurant noticed. But Lila did. He spoke again, this time more clearly, his voice low and respectful. "You speak my language?" "Yes," she replied softly. "My mother taught me. She lived in Osaka for 10 years. Something in his expression cracked, like hearing a memory he thought he'd lost. Before he could answer, the manager appeared beside them, forcing a stiff smile. "Lila, a word." "Now." She followed him a few steps away. "What are you doing?" he whispered sharply. "We don't see people who look unprepared for this environment. You're new, but you should know that." Lila's stomach tightened. He was left standing. "That isn't right." "Your job," the manager said, "is to follow instructions." She ignored him and went back to the table. When she returned, the man was staring out the window, eyes glistening, not from sadness but from something heavier. Recognition. Relief. Loneliness breaking open. "You remind me of someone," he murmured in Japanese. "Someone dear?" He nodded. "Someone I failed to protect." Before she could respond, a group of wealthy diners at the next table began whispering loudly. "Look at him. Poor old man probably wandered in here by mistake." Lila's jaw clenched. She stepped closer, shielding the comment from him, but he heard everything. His posture stiffened, dignity tightening like armor. Still, he thanked her. In perfect English this time. "Miss Lila. You are very kind. If this moment moved you, subscribe, because the storm inside this restaurant is just beginning." The tension finally snapped when Lila brought the man a simple pot of green tea. As she set it down gently, one of the wealthy diners nearby scoffed loud enough for half the restaurant to hear. "Tea? That's all he can afford." Another chuckled. "Maybe he's lost. Someone call security before he steals something." The elderly man lowered his gaze, hands folding neatly in his lap, an old habit of someone used to enduring disrespect in silence. But Lila heard every word, and this time she didn't hold back. "Sir," she said firmly, turning to the mockers, "he is a paying guest. Show some respect." The diners laughed in her face. Before she could respond, the manager stormed over, voice sharp enough to slice the air. "Lila, that's enough. You do not speak to customers like that." "I spoke to bullies," she said quietly. The manager pointed at the elderly man. "And as for you, sir, I'm afraid this establishment may not be the right fit for you. We have a dress code." He reached for the man's sleeve as if to guide him out. Lila stepped in front of him. "No. He stays." The manager's eyes burned. "Then you can leave. Hand in your apron. You're fired." The restaurant fell into stunned silence. The elderly man slowly rose to his feet. His voice, when he finally spoke, was calm, but carried an authority that silenced even the laughter from earlier. "May I say something?" he asked. The manager rolled his eyes. "Go ahead." The man reached into his coat, and what he pulled out made the entire restaurant freeze. Don't miss this next part. Hit like and subscribe, because what he reveals changes everything. The object the elderly man pulled from his coat gleamed under the restaurant lights. A solid black titanium card, the kind only issued to the top 100 wealthiest individuals in the world. The room went dead silent. The manager froze mid-breath. The mocking diners turned ghost white. Even the waitstaff stopped moving. Lila blinked. "Sir, who are you?" The man set the card gently on the table as if it weighed more than metal. Then he reached into his coat again, and this time placed a slim, lacquered envelope beside it. "My name," he said softly, "is Hiroshi Nakamura." A name Sydney knew. A name Australia knew. A name whispered in every business school in the world. Founder of Nakamura Global Industries. Architect of half the robotic systems used across the Pacific. Worth over $40 billion. The manager stumbled backward. I didn't know." "That," Hiroshi interrupted, "is exactly the problem." He turned to Lila. "You defended a stranger without knowing his worth. That is rare." He slid the lacquered envelope toward her. "For you," he said. "A gift. And an opportunity." Lila stared at it, her hands shaking. "What's inside?" Hiroshi gave a small, heartbreaking smile. "Something that may change your life, as you have changed mine." Gasps rippled through the restaurant. "But," he added, "open it when I'm gone." He bowed, deeply, respectfully, then walked out into the rain without another word. Lila held the envelope against her chest, took a trembling breath, and slowly broke the seal. The moment she looked inside, her entire world stopped. But what she saw, that is a story for another day.